You went to the Chiefs-Bengals AFC Championship game and probably couldn't care less. Two people that hate football more than anybody.
We don't hate football. You don't understand.
Yeah, you better back off of that.
Okay.
You're about to lose some followers.
Babe. Oh, I don't want to do that. Sorry if
you
I
better say you love football.
I love football.
Yeah.
Football's amazing.
This is about control. Everybody knows. Everyone complies. We're the kinds of pros. I don't need a plane. I just hit the road. I do what I want. I can't sell my soul. Market about to crash. This is what you chose. Ruining the country. I think that's the goal. You gonna take the mark. I take narrow roads. I'm a man of God. I can never fold.
Popping bottles. Bitches.
All right. Welcome to the Protect Your Purpose podcast, where we talk whiskey, business, friends, family, and freedom. I'm your host, Matt Marchese, and this is my Dirty Balls host, Zach Grady.
Ball.
Yeah, I didn't want to say dick because it seemed like it was too aggressive of a start to the podcast. But since
Dirty
you
Balls
mentioned
is
it,
good.
You already called it to me.
the
before.
Dirty Dick Grady.
So you're acting like a nice guy on camera.
I was trying to.
Okay.
So anyway, welcome to the show, honey.
Oh.
Sorry. I mean, welcome to the show, Zach.
Thanks.
And of course, and sometimes lovely wife, Lindy. Welcome to the show, honey.
Hi, thank you.
Yeah, how are you?
Good.
How was work today?
A little tired.
Yeah?
Late night last night.
Late nights and early mornings.
Oh, you guys went to the game.
What are we drinking today, Zach? We did. We'll talk about that. What are you drinking first?
Lip Service from the same company, I think, as that.
Oh, yeah. From one of the episodes we did last time. I'm not sure if it was the last one, but we drank.
Vallejo.
Drink the whole bottle.
Yeah, grab those. Grab those other ones. We'll talk about those.
Savage and
So
Cook.
cool.
Savage and Cook.
Yeah. This is I think it's a California.
Oh,
Yeah.
That's
Product.
a bourbon. We should have drank that
Vallejo.
one, Zach.
This one's 90 proof.
Yeah. Vallejo. Yeah, California stuff. We really enjoyed this one the other day. Anyway, all right. We'll get these out here. We'll pimp these products to our sponsors. Thank you to our sponsors. Anyway, what's been up?
I wanted to hear about the game. You guys didn't say anything
Oh.
about it. You went to the Chiefs-Bengals AFC Championship game and probably couldn't care less. Two people that hate football more than anybody.
We don't hate football. You don't
Yeah,
understand.
you better back off of that.
Okay.
You're about
All
to
right.
lose some followers.
Babe. Oh, I don't want to do that. Sorry if
You better say you love football.
I love football.
Yeah.
Football's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
It's
And
not
stop
the
pandering.
football that I hate, okay? First of all, my wife loves football. One of the things that attracted me most to her when we first met was that she was like, we were young and we were super cool, and I was looking for a cool chick who was hot. And I'm like, yeah, a fine chick. And then I found out she was like a Husker football fan.
Oh.
I was from Florida. She's from Nebraska. We were in Kuwait. And I was like, oh, you like watch football? And she's like, oh, I'm the biggest football fan.
Do I?
Do I?
Go Big Red.
We are game daying right now. That was one of the things that attracted me to my wife was like, I got a chick that I can like go to the bar and drink a beer with and watch football. I love that. Love my wife. My wife loves football.
I still love watching it.
Yeah.
I just don't know like the players and
We don't follow.
That's fine.
Listen, it isn't that I don't hate the sport. Okay. What I disagree with is making someone else's purpose, which is that football team, your purpose. Because it shouldn't be. And I think it's fucking stupid that when people do that. On the sole principle of wasting precious time and wasting precious energy, and how I came to this conclusion, and precious money and resources. How I came to this conclusion was because I was wasting my time and my energy and my money for nothing. I was gaining nothing from it. I was spending, I had the NFL ticket. I was spending 2 different cable packages, my internet, NFL, fantasy football, the time, plus then you got to go to the bar on Saturday, and then you've got game day on Saturday, and then you've got to go to the bar on Sunday, then you've got Monday night football, you've got Wednesday night football, you've got Thursday night football, you've got European night football, like all the shit, it's just so involved. And when it was all said and done, we had to make a decision on where we were going to allocate our time. And it turned out like football was just taking up like 17 hours a week.
Yeah, you had a problem.
You have the same problem.
17 hours, no way.
Whatever.
But I will say,
how many hours is too many?
will say,
no, how many hours is too many?
I will say,
we're going to settle this once
I
and for all
will
with
say
you two fantasy nerds.
most Dolphins fans feel the same way you do.
That's true. Listen, that's the energy part. I would come home. I'd go to the bar. I'd first of all spend
You get
too much money.
upset.
Yes.
Yeah, you
The
can't let it
Dolphins
affect
lose.
you.
They give me a little bit of false hope. They start off with 3 wins or something. And I'm like, yes, our season, like I'm a part of the fucking team, and I'm not. I dress up in my uniform, fucking go to the bar. Where you
Ricky
going? We got
Williams
a game.
jersey.
Like Jamie Foxx. You guys ever hear that Jamie Foxx special? He was talking about whatever the movie with LL Cool J is.
Any given Sunday.
Oh, yeah.
Is that it? Yeah.
Yeah.
And
With
he
Al
was talking
Pacino?
about how he's talking about LL Cool J was taking it so serious, like he was in the role as a football player. He was walking down the hallway of the studio with his pads, and he was like, "Hey, where you going?" He was like, "We got a game." He was like, "No, we don't. we are actors. We act." That's how these serious Turbo fans are.
Yeah.
They dress up in their uniform. They go to the bar. They go to the games. They're a part of the team. And we just decided that. I decided that wasn't going to be.
Every once in a while, we'll
us.
go tailgate in
No,
Lincoln.
I'm all about it for the social. Like it's
Matt,
people,
it didn't-
family, friends.
It didn't make your plate, remember? We talked about this, I think, in
didn't make
episode one.
It shouldn't make anyone's plate.
Yeah,
Like
to each your own.
I enjoy football. I enjoy watching football. But I don't let it interfere with anything. Like if I have something other than watch football to do, I don't like cancel those just to sit there and watch football. You know what I mean? Like if I'm home and not doing anything, then I'll watch football. But
You too?
Yeah, I love watching me a good football game.
I love seeing them score home runs.
I don't hate football. Back to the.
I know.
But
you
we
guys
had a great time.
Live though,
We
totally
almost
different experience.
It was awesome. Yeah.
we
Yes,
almost
into a
watched
couple
a guy die on us. We
Oh
were
man, this was
tailgating,
serious. Yeah.
and we had just gotten in the van to warm up a second, and I glance over, and there's 3 guys pulling this one guy out of a van, and I see them doing the Heimlich, and then the next guy comes over and tries, and one of the guys in our group went over
Crazy.
and he was completely blue
And completely limp. Like I thought it.
You could I
thought
thought
it
he
was
had
over.
died.
Big dude though.
Yes,
Big
he was
guy.
a big guy.
Was it a hot dog?
No,
It was a barbecue sandwich.
yeah, yeah, but he had told the guy
I
that
thought
he
people choking on things like that was fake.
We
No,
watched it. It was
he
so.
has like an abnormal. I heard the guy talking, saying he has told me that he has an abnormally small, so he
Esophagus or
chokes
something.
a lot. Yeah, how's
Chew your food better, Daryl. Fuck.
Bro,
wash it
He
were
down?
made it
sitting
though.
there.
He made it though.
he made
He
it.
did. He
So
did.
did it fly out like in the movie?
No.
Big chunk of
Down.
stuff?
Yeah.
So he should never do a hot dog eating contest.
No, he'd be dead by hot dog number 2.
Maybe
He
even
gone.
one.
He might not
For
make
spite.
it 2. Yeah.
Yeah.
He would actually be the lowest. Didn't someone actually die during a hot dog eating contest?
I don't know.
I think someone actually. Don't
Probably.
listen, internet.
That's a lot of
Don't quote me on
calories.
that. We've been catching a lot of flack lately for the bullshit that I talk. All right, we got a couple topics here that I want to talk about. Number one, to solve that, listen, football fans.
I was
It's
fucking with you though.
watch
Calm
baseball,
down.
okay?
That's even worse.
Couple things. I'm not mad at the football people, but I do have a message for the football fans, okay? If you have extra time, which I find hard to believe if you have not accomplished your dreams or your goals. If you're a person that has no goals and no desire to achieve further, you probably have lots of extra time to watch football and shit. If you've got an outlet and that's like your mental break time, I'm all in on that. But the moment it goes into ruining your day because
Yeah.
you lost money or your team lost, or the moment you're dressed up like an ass clown every Sunday, mad love to my dad who dressed up like an ass clown every Sunday, and took us all and dressed us all up like ass clowns every Sunday. I just think that football should be for like retired people, not for young people to buy in on someone else's dream and have it override their dream. I feel like it's intentional.
I understand the argument.
Yeah, that's number one. So we did that because I was falling victim to that. That's number one. Number two, we've received some hate on our stuff. Yeah. So I want to give a disclaimer. Okay. I'm just a guy with a couple friends and a wife and some really cool and fun guests that we have come on that help us a lot and talk shit. But I'm just a dude
With some good whiskey.
with some good whiskey and a microphone, and I'm free to say whatever the fuck I want. Whether you choose to, take my advice or listen to the shit that I'm talking about is entirely up to you. Number one, don't take my tax advice. Fair?
Why?
Dude, you're giving valuable tax
I'm not
advice.
a tax accountant. I'm not a lawyer.
Take
what you're saying
take
is
what
not
Matt's
wrong.
saying and go to your accountant.
Take it with a grain of
Right.
salt. How about that?
You take it and then you go, what the hell did this guy mean by this, Mr. Tax Accountant? Because surely you're not getting all of you're not doing your taxes by yourself based on our show, I hope. Like, surely you're not. The Protect Your Purpose podcast people told me that I can go buy a whole bunch of fucking clothes and then I don't have to pay taxes. Yeah, that's not what we meant. But yes, there are certain tax things that we talk about that you should probably
Look into.
look into.
Do your own research.
Yeah. We made a podcast the other day and Ian clipped out some shorts on it. Turned out pretty good. Right?
It did.
Yeah. Good job.
Really good.
Great job to you.
Good job to your opinions.
We're sort of famous.
Yeah.
I'll
we,
say it.
We had like a little,
say it.
a couple little semi-viral pops on a couple little things on TikTok. And then, of course, in comes the hate.
There's more love on that one, though.
Yeah. That's right. The other one.
Mostly love.
That's right. Listen,
You
love.
focus on the negative a lot.
I mean, we did it.
Row Shaggy. Well, let me add this in real quick before you continue.
You dirty dick.
Well, all four of us have to say is thank you to the people that support us and the people that hate us because it is all pluses.
Dude, what Zach is saying that I focus too much on the hate. I just like the hate. The hate drives me because, first of all, it's usually super dumb. So, like, the hate,
It is.
they're like, oh, yeah, good job. You're going to end up in jail because you're like, no, dickhead.
Most of the
Okay.
arguments are like one word, two, or something like you're wrong.
I love it.
Thank you for the feedback.
Thank you for the feedback.
Appreciate
Thank you
that.
for the insight. Brilliant.
I think why you love it so much, though, Matt, is because it's an open door for you to educate. So if someone agrees with you, it's kind of like it's not an open-ended question, right? It's kind of like, hey, thanks. This is great lunar opportunity. You're awesome.
You said educate.
It's-
I think you meant argue.
Well,
That's what
argue.
you actually
Well,
meant.
well, yeah, argue, but also educate.
Only argue in the form of educating.
Yeah, he'd be a great. He's a great arguing teacher.
It's an
Tomato,
argue.
tomato.
It's an argucation that I'm giving you. No, one person, it was a girl's profile, and the name was Mark. So I'm going to call him a girl named Mark.
You don't know that they were a girl.
There was a chick. I shouldn't assume Mark's gender.
Maybe that's Mark's wife.
I don't know, but we're going to call it the girl named Mark. Said that this is illegal, and you're do not follow this guy. This is illegal. And what else did she say?
Evil. I think
Evil. That was the word.
Evil.
And I'm like, what? Like, listen here.
Mark pays too many taxes.
Listen here, girl.
Right, because
named
you wear
Mark.
black.
He's a little bitter.
Right. This person said I was evil. And I'm like, well, here was the point that I made on it, which is a good point to follow. And I didn't take it from a combative situation or standpoint.
I just like fucking with you, dude.
Well, you
Then
talk
you
a
get
lot of
combative
shit.
with me,
Talk a
and
lot
it's
of shit.
fun.
I explained to the girl named Mark that there are two types of people in the world, and this is important for all of our listeners and everyone who fucking has a job. Anyone who pays taxes, this is important. Okay, there's a couple kind of cardinal rules to success. People who plan are people who succeed. If you don't plan, odds are you're not going to succeed without, the off chance of like luck or some shit falling into place, right time type shit. Okay. There are two types of people in the world. People who earn money and spend money, and at the end of the year, the government tells them how much they owe them in taxes. Okay. The other type of people in the world are the type of people who spend money knowing how much they are going to owe in taxes. Okay. be the latter. Do not be the former. Because if you're not preparing on how much you're going to have to pay in taxes, undoubtedly you're going to pay more than if you were preparing. And if you had the choice, should I pay less tax? Do I want to pay less taxes this year or more taxes this year? It is not criminal to say less. In fact, it is stupid to say more. So what you have to do is you have to all throughout the year earn money and spend money with taxes and how much your tax burden is in mind. And when you do that, you could say, well, if I buy this, I will pay less taxes. If you're just thinking about it, by the end of the year, when tax comes in, you're going to have a tax return and you're not going to have to pay income taxes if you're doing the right thing.
That is so evil.
Evil. And this chick named
Criminal.
Mark said it was
Criminal.
evil. Don't follow this guy because he's going to get you in jail.
Don't follow women named Mark.
And
It's been a rule of mine
Mark.
since I was young.
chicks named Mark suck. I never met a chick named Mark until today.
I know.
You ever met a chick named Mark?
First time for everything.
Anyway, all right. So we had some virality on our TikTok account.
Yeah, we
Protect
just-
Your Purpose. What is it on TikTok? Protect Your Purpose?
Protect your purpose. And I wouldn't even just, yeah, so the biggest virality was on TikTok, but those two pieces of content that were made, I mean, they did good on every platform.
And they were about taxes.
Which means Instagram, which means TikTok, which means YouTube.
Keep
If you're
going.
not following on all of them.
Are you really following any of them? then?
Facebook.
We
Are you
did-
following
We
any?
did hit over 100,000.
You just
It
looked,
did?
didn't you?
Oh, we got 100,000 views on that? That's pretty dope.
Yep.
So follow us on TikTok. You can go check that out. What was the title of that?
You'll
of
see
that-
it. It's got over 100.
So
Oh, yeah.
it's the legal way to not pay taxes. But my favorite was the newest one, and it's being taxed is like being pimped. I'm pretty proud of that title. I'm not going to lie.
Listen, it's
I was
true.
giddy when I told Matt about it.
It's true, and I'm not going to explain it again on this podcast because I already did.
You did.
Go watch that video, though.
Go watch that video.
Ian
on
did a good
TikTok.
job putting those together. He always does. Then YouTube. Protect Your Purpose account on YouTube as well.
That's probably what you're watching this on, yes.
And then you've
Keep
got
watching.
Spotify. You've got Apple. We've got more to come on that. And then we've got our Apple Podcasts. And then
Twitter. We got to get the Twitter rolling.
Instagram. What's Instagram? Is Protect Your Purpose Podcast, I think.
Yes.
Yep. Instagram's Protect Your Purpose Podcast. So follow us on all those. We're going to be putting out new content. We are putting out new and different content on each platform, so it's not just the same across. That's to force you all into getting on
Look
all
at
of them.
all of
Yeah, you
them.
got to go
Look
look
at
at
it
all
all.
of them. If you want to see all the shenanigans, we're stirring the shit pot with the taxes over here. God, I can't believe, dude, I can't believe people get so upset about a post
From a guy they don't know.
from a stranger.
Because you have a microphone in front of your face.
Yeah. How about the guy who said, "I can't even start a business"? Like,
No. He goes, then I have to run a business.
I don't even
I
know,
don't
where,
even
to
know where to
I don't know where to start. Anyway,
He's like, love the idea. Hate the idea of running a business. Sorry.
it's good. It's a good idea. It's a good idea to plan your taxes prior to tax season. It's a good idea throughout the year to be in touch quarterly with your accountant to ask your accountant, how can I legally pay less taxes? What that means is, how can I reduce my tax liability?
Yeah.
Pretty simple. We do. Everyone who files taxes annually hires a tax accountant or TurboTax or whatever their tax website is to work them through finding legal ways to reduce the amount of taxes that they owe.
Or gain more.
Or
on the
gain
return.
more in the return, which is actually reducing the amount of taxes that they owe. Okay. So it's a really good idea to do that. And for our audience, and this is kind of what I was alluding to with this topic, is for our audience, preparing for how much taxes you're going to pay is something that you get to control. Okay. For the people who think that they just earn money and spend money all year long, and then the government just tells them how much they are owed or how much they owe, are the people who get into money problems.
So you're saying you should spend money with a Purpose.
with intent, right? And if you're going to make a plan to do it, which would you choose? Would you choose to make a plan to spend more on taxes or less on taxes?
Or spend more on your business.
Right. And what this does, when you make a plan to spend less on taxes, you then get to spend more on your business. And if you use that money wisely, your business will grow, and in turn, you will make more money. And for the lady who said that's evil and criminal, what she doesn't understand is that when you are reducing your tax liability almost all of the time, it is done by way of spending money. And when you spend money as a business owner, you are pumping money back out into the economy and stimulating the economy, which is what the government tries to do, only it doesn't cost them printing more money, driving inflation at crazy rates. You get to do it internally by just avoiding taxes. That is what people don't understand, is it's good for the economy when people save money on taxes, because in order to do that, you have to pump money back into the economy. Thank you, Mrs. Mark.
Mrs. Marcus.
Anyway, all right. What do you want to talk about, Lindy?
I don't. It's all him.
No, let's talk about some. All right.
I thought
Fine.
you,
Didn't you have something?
I thought you had something.
For current events?
No, just life.
Oh.
Oh, we went to the Chiefs game. We never even talked about that. Tell us about the Chiefs game, honey.
We started talking about the guy that choked and almost died, but he
Yeah.
made it out alive, and he's doing well. The
What?
game was fun, since we're not
Ian's grilling me
big,
over there.
huge
Mean
football
mugging you?
fans. It was a great time.
Oh, yeah, that's where you started this, talking shit about us because we don't like football. We like people.
I said-
I wasn't talking shit about
I
you.
said, now I haven't watched football in a while, like consistently, but I think now I'm a Chiefs fan. Is that like a...
It's not bad, but I wouldn't say that right as they're going to the Super Bowl.
Oh,
Yeah, you're bad.
I was just saying from my experience.
I know. I was just giving you
Not
shit,
the
Lindy.
team.
She didn't even know they're going to the Super Bowl.
Yes, I did.
They're gonna win the World Series.
We got some club seats, so we're sitting up in the club section where it's nice and warm inside because it was like 10 degrees outside and the wind was blowing. It was
The
shitty.
wind chill was like -4.
And we're like, we ain't going outside, not when we can be inside. So we were mostly inside. And she's like, I loved it. Everyone's just so happy around here. And I'm like, well, the Chiefs are winning, okay? Wait till you see if they lose, how happy everyone. She is falling in love with the whole experience of the Chiefs' life. I'm like, yeah, it's the AFC Championship and they're winning.
Until there's fist fights in the
Right.
stands.
The energy is not always this way, but there's Lindy going, I am a Chiefs fan. I'm like, well,
These fans are just so great.
it's super easy to become a Chiefs fan when you're going to the Super Bowl because the
I
energy
didn't
is
even
usually super
consider that
Yeah, I know.
when I was thinking about my...
great. I know.
And you're also in the club section. I'm guessing a lot of people were probably pretty happy in there too. So
Right. We were also warm. Everybody outside was fucking miserable. Their fingernails were frozen and they have frostbitten toes. And here we are. We're with all the happy people right by the bar in the warmth. It was good energy. Though.
was
We
great.
enjoyed it. The company was good. Tailgate. We flew there, flew back. Quick day trip. It was awesome.
Yep,
Everything kind of worked out great.
it was good. Good time.
Thanks for
Hell
asking.
yes.
All right, what else are we
Moving
talking
on.
about,
Go
Zach?
Chiefs.
Go Chiefs. Yeah, we're Chiefs fans.
No, well, don't put me in there. No.
One time I went to a game. They dressed me up as a Bills fan. I went to a game with some other friends 2 years ago. It was the, I don't know,
Is it the
AFC.
Chiefs, Bills?
Playoff game?
It might have been a division championship game 2 years ago. I don't know. Anyway, they dressed me up as a Bills fan. As you know, I grew up a Dolphins fan, so I grew up losing, sucking.
And hating the Bills, probably.
And hating the Bills. So they dressed me up as a Bills fan. And I'm like, you know what? They begged me. They told me they would do it for me. I said, I'll support you guys. Don't ever let my brothers see a picture of this. They'll disown me. Dressed up as a Bills fan. Bills are getting their shit pushed in. Fourth quarter rolls around. Bills are clearly going to lose this game. And I'm like, look, if I'm going to jump ship, I'm not jumping from the losing ass Dolphins to the losing ass Bills. So we were like only a couple of the Bills fans in the whole section, the whole game. And I was with Loudmouth. They were talking shit, friendly shit, having a good time. But we were the Bills fans.
Mm-hmm.
And in the fourth
This was at
quarter,
a Chiefs game,
this
though?
was at a Chiefs
Okay.
game. So in the fourth quarter, Bills were losing. So I went out in the hallway while they were all in it. Yep, I bought a Chiefs jersey and a Chiefs hat, and I came back to the seats as a Chiefs fan. And the guys I was with, they're all Bills fans. They look over at me and blow their mind up. Like, no way, you fucking switched on us. Then the whole section saw that I switched, so now I became a Chiefs fan. I was high-fiving.
Yeah.
Oh, it was so great. So ever since then, I'm a Chiefs fan.
Well, since the boys were able to talk, we told them we don't say Bills.
Oh, yeah, no
We
Bills.
don't say the Bills.
No
so-
Jets, no Patriots.
Yep. All
We don't
three
do
of them,
AFC
they-
East teams around here. I used to say it. They used to say,
It's cute.
ooh,
We don't say that.
we don't say the Bills. We don't say Patriots, right,
That's
Dad?
hilarious.
I'm like, we don't say Patriots, not around here. Anyway, all right. What's next? What's on the rocket docket for today, my friend?
Well, I think we're doing current events, huh?
Oh, yeah, current events today. You got anything? What do you got?
Well, yeah. I mean, I think it would behoove us to talk about the Tyre Nichols, Memphis. I don't know. Does that hit more home since you guys lived in Memphis for a while, or?
I'll let you answer that.
I just thought of that actually.
Yeah.
Because you guys lived there for a minute.
It does, but I feel like I've been waiting for it to happen. You know what I mean? The city is just so crime filled.
Right? Is it really?
Oh,
it's always since we lived there, at least
Yeah, it was one of the highest crime rates in the nation. Memphis,
top 3 in the nation.
Yeah, always.
Wasn't your station in a really, really bad part of town, if I remember you telling me?
Yeah,
that?
mine was.
You guys
Memphis.
are
Oh, yeah,
Only-
because she
I was
recruited
in
in the good area,
Yeah.
and you were in the bad area.
Yeah, she had what we like to call a walk-in market.
8:24 p.m. Officers stop Mr. Nichols at the intersection of East Rains Road and Ross Street, push him to the ground. As officers wrestle him, Mr. Nichols can be heard saying, "I didn't do anything." The Memphis Police Department initially said that Mr. Nichols had been stopped on suspicion of reckless driving. However, Memphis Police Chief said in an interview with NBC that the department has not been able to confirm why Mr. Nichols had been stopped. So several officers try to forcefully pin Mr. Nichols to the ground, shouting expletives and threats. Mr. Nichols can be heard saying, "Okay, I'm on the ground. You guys are really doing a lot right now. I'm just trying to go home." Seconds later, officers appear to use a stun gun on him. He breaks free and starts running down Ross Street with at least 2 officers behind him. At least 2 police cars arrive at the intersection. This is 8:29 now, so 5 minutes later, right? Where Mr. Nichols was initially stopped. An officer on an audio recording from the Memphis Police Dispatch Center can be heard asking for backup. Any other Scorpion car, pull over to East Rains and Ross. We have one running on foot. 8:33, one of the 4 videos released by the city of Memphis shows Mr. Nichols already on the ground, less than half a mile from where the traffic stop occurred. Officers slap and push Mr. Nichols, who's screaming for his mom because her house is 60 yards away. A police officer sprays Mr. Nichols in the face with chemical spray. 2 officers pin Mr. Nichols while a third kicks him near his face at least 2 times. Hit him, one officer yells to another, beating him with a baton. Struggle continues for several minutes. Officers shove and drag him. At least one officer punches Mr. Nichols. So at 8:37, so this is 13 minutes since the initial stop, he's eventually handcuffed and critically injured. They drag him to a nearby car, prop him up in a seated position. 8:41, medics arrive. Okay, 2 medics arrive on the scene a few minutes after Mr. Nichols is placed in the car to check on Mr. Nichols, but they do not appear to be in a hurry. Almost 16 minutes later, medics appear to open their medical bags for the first time and provide aid.
That's 16 minutes after the
After
medics
they've
arrived? Oh, wow.
At 9:18 p.m., so almost a little under an hour, he's transported to St. Francis Hospital. The aftermath is these 5 police officers.
The guy's died or he's alive?
The guy's dead. He died 3 days later.
3 days later.
So the 10th he would have died, yeah.
What did he die from?
I think it said internal bleeding or something like that. They just beat the shit out of him, dude. So the 5 police cops were fired and charged Thursday with second-degree murder and kidnapping, among other charges.
Kidnapping?
I guess. The Scorpion unit was also disbanded, which was the main unit.
Scorpion
But obviously,
unit was the Memphis
was
task force.
The task force that was part of the stop. The main thing we're taking away is obviously another black man getting beat, fitting the narrative. However, the 5 officers that beat him are also black men. Of course, they want to make it about race, but it's kind of hard. I mean, they still are.
But now
of course.
Now it's cops.
The black cops are white supremacists,
But
is what they're certainly going to say. Yeah.
And there's been some stuff I read that said the cops possibly could have known him from a previous
Stop.
and like
A usual suspect, criminal.
it's tough, man, because they said
Have
lot
you
of
seen the video?
I've watched both videos, the cam footage, and then there was somebody like an overhead shot. Have you?
No, I saw like a highlight of like a blurred out. No,
A couple
I haven't.
things.
I know of the video. I haven't seen it.
He wasn't complying initially, which, okay, that fucking happens every day in America, right? He takes off and starts running after they had already tried getting him on the ground. So a lot of the argument was, well, if he would have just complied and did what he was supposed to. But I don't like it being a race issue, obviously, because they always want to try and spin it that way.
They're
But
gonna
this
make
is
it.
100% a defund the police issue. Like, we don't need to defund. We need to fund more to the police,
Sure.
more training. Because they said most of these 5 that were hired were in the 2020 range when they lowered the Memphis standards for their police force. So we're lowering standards for cops because we're trying to defund them, and then we're hiring all these people that probably shouldn't be putting on a uniform to begin with, and expect them to conduct themselves professionally and as if they this is 100% like a training issue, a standards issue. Like, when shit, like, if that was just a normal traffic stop, and it was probably just fine, but when shit hits the fan and things start going south, inexperience is going to show.
That's right.
Lack of education or knowledge or training is going to show. And I mean, if you watch the video, these cops were 100% out of line. I'm on that side. The guy did run. Sure, that happens all the fucking time, and cops don't end up beating the shit out of him to death, right? So I am on the side that this guy did not have to die. But these cops were clearly inexperienced, clearly didn't know how to handle the situation appropriately. Maybe there was more to it. I guess we'll probably never know. But if you watch the video, man, it's just very poorly executed. Could have been handled 100 different ways that didn't end up in this man getting and dying over it. But, of course, they're calling it a race issue.
Here's my take on it. I remember a time where I watched the George Floyd video, and I was like, and don't get me wrong, I don't have enough information to form an opinion. I think it's reckless and irresponsible for me to form an opinion not having all of the information, not seeing the video, not knowing the truth. How long ago did this information come out? A couple days ago?
Yeah, it's been recent, but
Okay, so
it all happened.
We've got a couple days. Early opinions being formed. Like, my first opinion is, damn it, people. Stop running from the cops. Stop resisting arrest. Stop thinking that you have some like bullshit entitlement to where you don't get to comply with a cop's order. I mean, if you want to protest the cops and their overreach, like, I'm all about that. Go do it. But you can't get belligerent and then fucking run from cops and resist arrest and avoid. Like, handling court, and as of now, our court systems are still just enough to, you can, if they're wrong, you can win a court case against cops. But the problem is these cops get scared and their blood pressure and their adrenaline goes up, and then they end up having to use like non-lethal force, and then it's not working, and then they're even more scared, and then they're rookies or they're inexperienced or whatever, they're understaffed. Like, all of these things play into account. We just have to, as citizens, realize this, that we are fucking with a force that can hurt us. I don't think it's right. I'm the opposite of that. I think the police. I'm a super pro blue line
Absolutely,
cop supporter. But I don't. If somebody comes up to my car with a fucking gun and is telling me to get out of my car, like, I'm a super cop supporter, but I'm not in the super trusting place right now.
Right.
The best way to handle that is I have a firearm. It's in the glove box. Keep my hands where you could see them. You want me to get out? No problem. You want me to put my hands out of the car first? And what?
Do the right thing.
Yeah. What happens is emotions and adrenaline gets involved. Alcohol is involved. And then all of a sudden people lose their mind. And when that happens, dude, it never ends well.
Just to be clear, none of that was involved with Tyre Nichols. I don't want people to think you're assuming he was drunk or on drugs or anything like that. He was on his break from work, so I think they did like a toxicology and all that stuff on him. So I think he was just on his break from work, heading home to his mom's house, and got pulled over.
Thank you for clarifying.
Yeah, I know that would have been the first thing people try hammering you.
Right, I should have stopped in the middle and said it again. Every sentence I should say.
I still don't know much.
I don't know much about this. I have not formed my opinion. My first opinion is people listen.
Get on the ground.
Get on the ground. Don't fuck around, man, because you're fucking with a young, understaffed, highly stressed, overworked,
Probably not trained well enough.
untrained, immature, and if they are the most mature and trained police force in the country, like, who gives a shit? Don't roll those dice.
They're also literally under a microscope. They have a camera on their chest. They have people pointing, phones record. Everything they do is the stress is insane. I would not want to be a cop.
Nope.
You could not pay me to be a cop.
That's the problem.
They're not.
They've made it so hard to be a cop that the money will not fund enough to make it worth it. So now cops are like, it ain't fucking worth it. We know people like close friends of ours
that think this is intentional?
Oh, it's 100% intentional. Mm-hmm. Of course. Yeah, this is not, absolutely, this is intentional. To the point where, I don't even
We won't go down that road,
no.
but
I don't want to insult the police forces, because a lot of times it's not the people. But yeah, no, of course not. I think cops are, I think there's moles. I think there's corrupt cops. I think
100%.
there's cops doing shit for the rise. I think there's false flag events being created by our police forces internally, by the federal. But I think it's 100% intentional. And it's sad. They're doing the same thing with the military, and it's the same move. Destabilize. Same thing with the healthcare system. Destabilize. They're destabilizing our healthcare. They're destabilizing our supply chain, our food. They're destabilizing our military. They're destabilizing our... It's all the same. Right into the police force, which when we saw it happening with the police force, I had talked to my buddy Shane probably a year prior, and he was concerned about the military. Crazy conspiracy theorist, dude. Good friend. And he said something about the military, and I was like, I don't think so, dude. We've got some patriots at high rank. Like, I don't think that's going to happen in the military. And he was like, okay, well, you know better than I do. And then we saw it happening to the cops, and I went, oh no, the military is next. And sure enough, what did they do? They forced out all the patriots. Not all, because some of us are still in there. But yeah, they divided us, and that's what they're trying to do, to destabilize. It's required chaos. To destabilize, to create chaos, chaos is required to install a new government. So, yeah, I think it's intentional. And to the citizens, whether this guy is right, wrong, or indifferent, again, I don't know enough about it. Sounds like you do. You might have even formed your own.
100% he should not have ran. Like, listen, like you said, follow the
Just
instructions.
don't fuck around with cops,
Listen to
man.
the cops.
Right.
Do what you're told. Because the first video is the body cam footage of them trying to get him to lay on the ground. Now, whether or not they had just cause to put him on the ground,
doesn't matter.
He probably disagreed, so that's why he was fighting it. But, yeah, like you said, it doesn't matter. Just do what the fuck you're told.
Right.
But once they did get him after he ran, the way they handled the situation, they basically just took turns freaking hitting him. Like, that could have 100% been handled, obviously, differently. He's already handcuffed. There's 5 of you.
I heard it being referenced.
The EMTs
to
were fired
Rodney
today,
King.
I heard.
But it's like you said, it's all black cops, right?
It was all 5.
Yeah.
black
How are they
cops.
going to spin this? They're gonna call it racism. They'll call it.
They are not
revert-
gonna. It is.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
The black cops.
CNN called it.
Yeah, of course. Because that's how they
White
divide.
supremacy.
Yeah, that's how they do. They wanted to cover it because it was a black dude, and I'm sure in the newsroom, I'm sure they were sitting there going, "Shit, how are we going to spin this one? We can't possibly put these guys' picture on the screen. Well, we can't do, of course, sucks.
It's like the Monterey shooting, man. That got a breath of news coverage, and that
What's
was
the
it.
Monterey shooting?
Exactly.
Forgive my ignorance.
It was an Asian dude.
72 years old.
Oh
This
yeah,
happened,
I think you told me
killed
about that.
ten.
Over Lunar
Yeah.
Day, right? Or
Yeah,
is
yeah,
that what
yeah.
that's called, Lunar
Yeah.
Day?
Yeah, you told me
The
about
Chinese-
that. A mass killing.
Like 2 weeks
But
ago.
And it was barely covered.
It wasn't a
In
white.
and out.
It wasn't a white guy, so it didn't fit the narrative. But this one got more traction. But they're still trying to spin
But
it
it's
as
because police
race
versus
baited.
Right.
I remember a time where I formed an opinion too earlier because nobody likes to see anyone get beat up, and if you do, you're kind of twisted probably, or unless it's UFC. That's kind of fun watching those guys beat the shit out of each other.
Sure. Legally.
Right. But not an abuse of power and
Defenseless.
defense. It's awful to watch.
sick.
I hate it. It hurts my soul to watch that shit. In fact, I don't even watch videos of knockout, the punch videos, getting YouTube people getting KO'd and shit. That shit all is disgusting. So two things.
maybe
Number
there'll be
one,
more that comes out
don't
about
fuck
this.
with the cops. And number two, let's wait before we start to rise up and create a movement in honor of some shit that we may not have
Well,
all
that's-
of
that's-
the
rioting.
That's the second frustrating thing is they've started destroying Memphis piece
Of
by
course.
piece because people will take advantage of the situation and
Of
rob
course.
fucking GameStop or Hibbett. Those are the two that I saw. GameStop got fucking raided and a Hibbett sports store got raided. What the fuck does those have to do with anything?
Maybe we
you
should-
wanted the new PS5. That's what it had to do with it.
Maybe it's an investment conspiracy theory, and GameStop needed some new publicity to jump that neck. Let me guess. They
You can't
stole
rule
all
anything out.
They stole all the Blackberries. Huh? Remember BlackBerry and GameStop? We're going. Listen. All right. What's the next topic? Yeah, that's sad, man. Sad story. No matter what, it probably wasn't race driven. Number one, and number two, it doesn't matter when a life is lost, man.
Right.
Especially at the hands of public servants and police officers. No matter what it is, it's sad and probably could have been handled differently. So, I know I feel comfortable forming that opinion. Is that where you're at?
Well, Matt, can I add something too?
Sure.
That for me, that's the biggest problem with today's society is that there are bad seeds in everything. There's bad teachers, bad cops, bad firefighters, bad actors, bad everything. And there was a time not too long ago that news was just news because stuff happens. It's unfortunate, but that's humanity. Is bad stuff happens.
Freedom
But
is
now,
not free.
Yes, but nowadays it's always an opportunity to divide and make it something that it's not. This is literally not race. There's nothing racial about this. There's no white people involved. And maybe I'm wrong about the paramedics, but there's no white people involved in this. But yet we're gonna make this something racial, and it's everything that happens now. They use it as a moment to divide everybody more.
Never let a crisis go to waste. my
Literally.
friend. Yeah. So if there is no crises,
They make it one.
create one. Yep. And if one is there, don't waste it because it's there. So whether or not, and those are the false flag events where January 6th, censor me. January 6th was a false flag event. It was planned. And it's obvious. If you watch it through the lens of theater, of a planned event, and you look at all the details, and you look at the Secret Service agents and the police officers standing outside twiddling their thumbs, and you watch the video of them, the cops waving people in to the Capitol building, and you watch the FBI agents on bullhorns telling people, we're going to go into the Capitol. Go in. And people are like, dude, don't listen to this guy. He's a plant. This guy's a Fed. And they were calling him out on it. If you watch all of it, it's very clear that it was a false flag event. Like, it's very clear that it was an event that was created so they can point to it as the example for whatever their agenda is. Okay. Then there's these other shit where there's a killing and they're like, ooh, that we want to talk about because that fits our agenda. And then, like you said, there's these other killings that take place or similar shit when they're like, ooh, wrong color, wrong political party. Yeah, it's a tragedy, but it doesn't fit our agenda. So they just don't air it. They give it a little bit of coverage to cover their ass, and they move on as quick as they can because it doesn't fit their narrative. So it doesn't sound like this was a false flag. It doesn't sound like this was a planned event, but they're certainly going to try and spin it into serving their agenda. That's their purpose, man. They're serving their purpose. Keeping the shit going. Fuckers.
On another video note, I saw people were calling this the Twitter feed said, "Is this self-defense or attempted murder?" At a Taco Bell, and I don't even know where this was. I need to find the video. At a Taco Bell, some customer was getting into it with an employee, and the customer breaks free from the dude holding him back, comes up, takes one swing, misses, the dude ducks it, comes under him, grabs the customer, and freaking drops him on his head, immediately out. And I guess the dude's in critical condition now or something. Oof. But a lot of people are calling it attempted murder or this dude should be tried. I'm like, how can you even make an argument that wasn't so? The dude swung on him, he picked him up, didn't slam him, just dumped him over, landed on his head, unfortunately, and knocked him out. But
I mean, it's a different time we're living in.
It's insane.
I think end game is we used to be able to fight, and we did. We fought. Mm-hmm. Me and all my friends. That's what we did. We would, that's how we would settle disputes. You would look at somebody crooked. You'd go here, you'd go there. You mess with somebody's girl. You call my mama a bitch. Whatever it is, we're fighting. And then you fight, and then you move on. Two things took place. Number one, the world became intolerant for these things, specifically for specific races and specific cultural backgrounds and shit. They're less intolerant. You can be a BLM rioter and you can go burn down a fucking building and it's no big deal. You won't go to jail. If you do, they'll bail you out. They won't prosecute you because they're doing it in these cities that are funded by George Soros. They have these lenient prosecutors because again they want chaos. So it depends on the city and where and who and what and when and why. But all in all, the world has changed. We can't get away with what we used to. And it sucks. It'd be cool if that was the way it was, but it isn't. And if you try and go at it that way, I mean, several years ago, probably 5 years ago, 6 years ago, 7 years ago, I don't know, I decided I'm not fighting anymore. That time of my life is over because another thing took place. I have more to lose.
I was going to say, you became an adult?
I've got children, right? I have responsibilities, and I'm a grown-ass man that could accidentally hurt somebody. So you want to call my wife a bitch, go right ahead. You put your hand on my wife, I get to kill you. I get to harm you. I've made a decision that I'm not fighting anymore unless there's a reason for me to use deadly force. It's not my first option. But if that situation is not there, then I'm leaving. Then I'm going to get myself out of that situation because, dude, this is an ugly web to be spun up in, man. You fuck around and defending yourself, drop someone on your head. Don't be the wrong color in the wrong city. That's all I got to say.
That was two white guys, so nobody cared about either one of them. So
even that. Wrong color, wrong. They'd love to say that one is 1/100th African American. Call it a hate crime.
His 23andMe says he's 0.5% Nigerian.
Don't be a Donald Trump supporter because they'll call you racist anyway. Doesn't matter if the person you accidentally killed that was trying to hurt. I mean, look what they did to what's that one dude? Rittenhouse. They tore that dude apart. Obviously self-defense. Now, whether or not a 19-year-old should have been running around, his mama should have had his ass home. But, I mean, didn't break the law. And they ruined that dude's life. Said he was the biggest white supremacist under the sun. What's next, Zach?
All right, I wanted to end on a lighter note.
Light notes. Woo. We don't talk about Bruno.
I thought this was hilarious, though. Website.
We don't even talk about Bruno.
This is like 2 days ago, I guess. Website offers $1,000 to a couple willing to build IKEA furniture. A financial advice website seeking a couple willing to test the strength of their bond by assembling IKEA furniture together for $1,000. The couple would then be asked to assemble the furniture together and document the experience. Just you and your significant other, a wordless instruction manual, and a hex key.
Oh, that's fun.
Amazing concept.
Do you
It
ever?
probably does sound like amazing. A couple.
Are you ever like putting something
God, I would
together and
kill
just
you.
so fucking pissed off, and then your
Yes.
wife
Oh, dude.
chimes in with some sort of advice?
Yeah.
I would watch
do it
Matt
this
and
way.
Lindy do this.
No.
In a heartbeat.
Matt
It
and Lindy,
may end me and my
Nope.
wife's
Matt
marriage.
and Lindy don't do this together.
No.
What actually happens is Matt lets Lindy put the whole thing together
And then goes back and fixes it.
and then looks at how fucked up it is.
No, you're like, why are these 3 screws not in there? And I'm like, I don't know. I did.
A lot of times there are some extras.
And why does the crib have elbows? Why does the crib gangster leaning? And she'll be
Or why
like,
is it
"That's
wobbly?"
I did what the instructions said." And I'm looking at it going, "I doubt it. For some reason, I doubt it." But
Honey,
the
it's backwards.
the truth is, at that point, it's usually really easy for me just to identify what the actual issue was, go back and change it in, and then I'm the hero. And our marriage is saved.
But you don't do it together.
No.
Hell no.
No.
You can now for $1,000.
So IKEA is funding this, or the website for content is?
Finance Buzz said it is researching for an IKEA DIY duo who would be given, it's $1,000 in IKEA store credit. So now you have
Not
to
even-
shop at IKEA.
Yeah, then you got to put more shit together. It's a vicious
Oh, no,
cycle.
hold
no,
on.
thank
Have you ever put
You
together
spend the $1,000 on the bedroom set, and then you put it together,
So you get a free
together.
bedroom set out of the deal.
essentially.
Have
You
you
got to
ever
put it
put
together. That's not a
together
bad
something
deal.
from
It's a good
IKEA?
gig.
It's miserable.
I've never, I don't think.
Terrible.
Dude, when we first started our
Are they
business,
really wordless and just a bunch of pictures?
Yes.
Like that you can't even tell what's what in the picture?
Dude, our first office, we needed, desks and conference tables and like all the things.
Mm-hmm.
We had to outfit a whole office, and I don't know if you've ever, researched office furniture, but it's quick when you've got an office with 7 or so offices, warehouse, reception desk, conference room. Like it's quick that you can jump to like a $50,000 bill.
Sure.
Like fast. So we, of course, went to look for other avenues to, as a young new business startup, kind of have it be nice, but not have to, break our.
Pay for nice.
Oh, yeah, but not have to pay for nice. So, of course, Brooke and Paige and Lindy, they came up with IKEA as our option.
We went to Mall of America. And got
Bro, we had to put together all the furniture. And it was.
days and days.
You want to talk about content? We had employees doing it, messing it all up. We were all, it was like a IKEA furniture put together party deal. Worked out great. But, and I would highly suggest that anyone who is starting a business and who wants to, have like an office and they're new and there's not a whole lot of traffic coming in, not going to get a lot of wear and tear. I mean, buy some cheap furniture. You don't have to do all
Is
that.
IKEA
So-
cheap? Is it considered cheap
Yes.
furniture?
It's cheap, yeah.
Yeah.
And it kind of, it's cheap. It's shitty too.
Why is the brand so popular?
Because cheap. Yeah. Okay. Here's why. Because it's a lot of it's cool looking furniture, right?
Oh, okay.
Like they have like modern, a lot of different styles. It's
Yeah.
cheaper. Yeah. It's cheaply
Like something you
made.
might
It
want to put in
falls
your living
apart.
room if you got a bunch of kids that ride on it and fucking jump on it.
Yeah. It's gonna look great. Guaranteed. By the time you sell your house and move on, you're not taking that with you.
It's going in the trash.
It's going in the trash because your kids are gonna
But
have.
it's that cheap. Like it looks super cool, and then you sit on it and you're like, ugh.
Not comfortable.
Yeah.
Anyway. all right,
Boom.
we ready to wrap this thing?
How do we wrap it?
Well, what we do, Ian, is earlier in the show I mentioned all the places to go follow us. Go like our shit. Subscribe on YouTube. Subscribe and like and follow.
We're
and
famous
all
on
that stuff.
TikTok right now, so go follow us on TikTok.
We're blowing up on TikTok, the stupid Chinese app. Sorry, Mr. Chinaman. Don't kill me.
Well, we're not on TikTok anymore, so
That's it.
You can't watch us in a government building.
That's right.
You can if you watch us on YouTube.
That's right. That's right. Anyway, thank you, as always, for joining, and thank you for all your love and support. And as always, find your purpose, serve your purpose, and protect your purpose, people.
boom.
Boom.
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
This is about control, everybody knows, everyone complies. We're the kinds of pros, I don't need a plane, I just hit the road, I do what I want, I can't sell my soul, market about to crash, this is what you chose, ruining the country, I've been best to go, you gon' take the mark, I take narrow roads, I'm a man of God, I can never fold.